Others hope, that's hopefully.
Okay. Let's see. The gentleman in 2 North, who is in, hold on just a sec, let me get this.
Yeah, I know with these Zoom booths and
Hold on, Judge. Let's see. The gentleman in 2 North, who is in, hold on just a sec, let me get this.
yeah, I know with these Zoom booths.
Hold on, Judge. Let's see. The gentleman in 2 North, who is in, hold on just a sec, let me get this.
With these Zoom booths.
The gentleman in 2 North, who is in,
These Zoom booths.
Okay, sorry about that, everybody. The gentleman in 2 North, who is that, please?
Bruce Wallace.
Okay, Bruce Wallace, 2 North. This is booth 1. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, Kathy, since we're sort of at the mercy of the jails and who's in there, I mean,
I'm trying to find out who all do we have so I can kind of figure out who needs to go first, second, and third.
yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge. Renee
Morning.
Rockwell here.
Morning, Miss Rockwell.
I'd be happy to waive my client's presence. I can send you a waiver, a written waiver if you want it. Would Madam Prosecutor or Madam Probation object to that?
Can you just hold on for just a second?
Yeah. We'll worry about that towards the end.
In Cobb County.
I figured you had somewhere to go, but.
No. You got me all day, Judge. I'll come over there if you need me to and disrupt
Well,
the whole
I hope
program.
it's not all day.
Okay, so the gentleman in 2 North, booth 3. Can I get your name, please, sir?
Terry Avery.
I'm sorry?
Terry Avery.
That's my client.
Terry
Madam.
Avery, okay. This is booth 3. Okay. This is the name.
Ms. Robinson, do y'all have a
Okay.
Zoom up from Cobb County today?
Yes, Cobb County booth is there.
Okay,
All right.
I'll stand down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so. Two North, booth 2. Is that Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, what else we got there? Those 2, 5 North. Okay, gentleman in 5 North, can I get your name, please, sir?
George Jones.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me. Is that you, Ms. Catherine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was wondering, where am I at right now?
Mr. Johns, I'm going to request that you not speak, please. Okay, this is Ms. Jones. I spoke with you yesterday. I know you know who I am. Please do not speak.
Okay, I just want some ID.
Okay. All right, 3 South, Booth 1. 3 South, Booth 1. Okay, the gentleman in 3 South, Booth 1. Who is that, please?
Mr. Vern Johnson.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And Mr. DeRico, you're in Cobb County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then. And that's Miss Rockwell. Okay. And then Mr. Cheney is at Oconee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then. All right, Judge.
Okay, well, what I'm first gonna, and I'm gonna let you direct it, Ms. Robinson, since you've got a feel for who's where, but I am gonna ask the 2 defense, I think there's 2 defense attorneys on here. I see Rockwell and Jones. Do either of you need to speak with your clients that you know of right now so we can arrange for the breakout room?
Not me, Judge.
I will need to speak with Mr. Cheney in Oconee County. I've had some difficulty getting a hold of him, so.
All right, why don't we do you and Cheney and Oconee, and then we'll take Renee Rockwell's stuff while you're doing that, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
Judge, let me get this together. All right, hopefully this will work.
Cross our fingers.
You're right.
He's even crying.
I like him.
Let's see here. So, Oconee and Miss Jones. Okay.
All right, well, it looks like it worked,
Okay.
Kathy.
Yes, so why don't we go ahead and do you want to go ahead and do Miss Rockwell's? She has position 4,
Okay,
Mr. Avery, and then she also has Mr. DeRico.
all right, well, let's go ahead and do Avery then, position 4, 11 SC 106431, Terry Lee Avery. Where's Mr. Avery?
Okay, I'm turning on his booth now,
Okay,
Judge.
thank you.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Avery, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he is appearing by Zoom. He's represented by his attorney, Miss Rockwell, by Zoom. And who, Ms. Clark, do you have this?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my case.
And Ms. Clark is with the district attorney's office. So Mr. Avery, very quickly before we get into this, obviously everybody's on Zoom. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, or anything you'd like to discuss with your attorney, let me know and we will arrange for a private breakout room for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Rockwell.
Judge, do you want me to go first or Madam Probation?
I
We
mean,
did
I've been having defense go first, but.
Okay.
All right.
For the record, Judge, I did pre-try this with Madam Probation, and Madam Probation will be, I think, submitting a proposed negotiated resolution to the court. May I just ask her to address the court on
Sure.
that, or did you want?
No,
Did
it's
you
fine
want-
if you want to have Ms. Colors do it. Go ahead, Ms. Colors.
Good morning, Your Honor. For Mr. Avery, probation recommended that, he has 1 year, 11 months, and 28 days remaining on probation. And probation recommends that he be revoked 60 days, reduced to the time that he's already served, and reinstate on probation. Also, to let the court know, he is eligible for unsupervised probation. However, DCS is recommending that he remain on supervised probation until his case expires. And he must provide me today with an updated address and contact number, and know that he needs to report to DCS within 48 hours of his release.
Okay, and Ms. Rockwell, that's your understanding of the stipulation?
The revocation of 60 days is, Judge, I'm just going to ask if Madam Prosecutor this is a 2011 case, Judge.
All right.
I would ask that if he could, I'm kind of anti too much time on probation. I don't know, not that it's a setup or anything. I didn't know if that's gonna, be, I don't want it to be a deal breaker. Let me just put it that way.
All right, well, Ms. Clark?
Your Honor, the recommendation from Madam Probation, I think is an appropriate one. We have no opposition to the recommendation.
How much time does he have left again? A year and 11 months?
1 year,
Change.
11 months, 28 days, Judge.
Well,
Let me do this then. Let me do this because I would like to come, maybe file a motion, Judge, for you to consider an early termination. And just when he gets back and shows y'all what he's doing, new address, updated phone number, all that. So we can keep it moving.
all right, why don't we do that then? Well,
Thank
why
you,
don't we
Judge.
do that? So I'm going to agree to probation's recommendation, which was revoke 60 days, reduce time served, and reinstate probation, and he will remain on supervised probation. Anything else?
That's all, Judge.
Okay. All right. Mr. Avery is excused.
Before you leave,
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Mr. Avery, you got to give Ms. Cullers your address, and she wants to go over the reporting instructions with you.
Yes, sir. Ma'am,
yes.
well, I actually have 2 addresses that's on file. It's 7410 Gossamer Street and the 2900 Lower Ridge Way. That's where the sheriff officers came to get me at.
Well, where do you lay your head every night, sir?
Ma'am,
Where do you actually live? You live at both addresses because we have to have one address.
because see, I own 7410 Gossamer Street. I own that house, but I am married to my wife, and she stays at 2900 Lower Ridge Way. That's where the sheriff's office came to get me at.
We
Let's
need to
use
know
that
where you
address.
sleep and where you want any sort of official notices sent to you.
2900 Lower Ridge Way.
All right, and give me 1 second. Is that in Fulton County?
That's in East Point, Georgia. Apartment 2202.
Okay, so what I will need for you in your phone number, contact number has it changed or is it the same, sir?
Actually, now I have to go get a line, but I will give y'all my wife's phone number.
Okay, and that is, sir?
470 883 8557.
Okay, I'll need for you to report to the office at 276 Memorial Drive
Now, I'm familiar.
within 48 hours of your release.
So, okay. All right, so I should get released probably Saturday or Sunday. I know they're kind of slow down here.
I can't speak to that, sir, but just 48 hours after you're released, as long as it's not on a weekend and it's during the week, and we're open from 8 to 4:30. I just need for you to report whenever you're 48 hours after you're released.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, you're excused, Mr. Avery. Where is Ms. Rockwell's other client?
He's in Cobb County, Judge.
Cobb County, just let me get this done. Okay, Cobb County, this one. Okay, Judge, he's ready.
Okay, and this is Vern Johnson?
No,
It's
that's
Hayden
Mr. Dorico.
What position is that?
He's on one of the add-on calendars.
I know there was an add-on. Let me look.
Yeah, I need you, I'll make you a copy.
No. I've got it right in front.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I see him.
Okay.
All right, so this is 17 SC 153254. Detavin Dorico. Can you hear me, Mr. Dorico?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he is represented by his attorney, Ms. Rockwell. We have Ms. Clark. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, we have Ms. Clark, who's the ADA. Mr. Dorico, obviously we are all on Zoom right now. So if you have a question or comment or concern that you need to speak with your attorney about privately, let me know and we'll arrange for a private breakout room with you and your attorney, Ms. Rockwell, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Cullors, do you want to announce the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, I can do that.
Let me just ask Ms. Officer Cullors one thing. I
Yes.
know we had discussed an initial recommendation and then an amended based on the mitigating factors. I would like, is that the one that you'll present to the court, or should I? Go ahead and set it up, Ms. Officer Cullors, and then I'll chime in.
Okay, Ms. Rockwell, I did speak with ADA Clark about it, and I believe that we feel the same way. We just needed to work out the other things that we had spoke about.
Okay.
So, Mr. Dorico, he is here before honor for a revocation on 17 SC 153254. On that particular docket, he has 2 years, 5 months, and 22 days remaining. We're asking that he be revoked 4 months, reduced to the time served, and reinstate. On the next one, which is 19 SC 167253, he has 7 years, 8 months, and 26 days remaining, and we're just asking that he be revoked 4 months, and reduced to the time that he's already served, and continue him on probation. I don't know. I don't want to speak on the other cases that he has because I don't know if that's something that Ms. Clark wants to, or Ms. Rockwell wants to speak about, but that is our recommendation.
All right, Ms. Rockwell?
Sorry about that, Judge. I had you on mute. Judge, for the record, I have submitted to Madam Prosecutor just immediately, and also Officer Colors, and also to your case manager, Judge, his pay stubs. This is a Judge LaGrua case. He's going to be on probation till long after I'm dead and gone. I would submit to the court that he doesn't have a new offense. He did get disconnected from reporting, but he does work. He's gainfully employed. He works overnight at a bakery, and he hasn't caught a new offense. So I'm going to ask the court to accept the recommendation and reinstate him on probation. And I will let Madam Prosecutor and Officer Colors address the other complicated issues. Could we just do that at another time since it's so complicated?
You mean you're saying like file a motion?
Maybe file a motion to amend a sentence that is technically not under probation, but the court, I know, has a number of items going on today. It might just be easier, Madam Probation, if we deal with that at a separate time, or whatever probation would like, and we could send it to the court on a consent basis.
Ms. Clark?
Your Honor, so in all of his cases, well, what I would like to see, since he works overnight, just really concerned about the defendant, as Madam Probation and I discussed, about him actually reporting to probation. We would like to just see that the state would like to see that he remains gainfully employed. The state is also fine with, in order to rectify the cases that he all has, with all of his probation, if he successfully is on supervised probation for 3 years, that the state thinks it's appropriate in this case to allow all of his probations to terminate on 12/21/2035, including the case 18 SC 158842, 15 SC 135785, 15 SC 138775, and then he has the other case 19 SC 167253, and 15 SC 135785. The other case 19 SC 167253.
Did you mean to say 2035, or did you mean to say 2025?
So right now on his case, he has a consecutive case, right? This consecutive case is supposed to be the 18 SC 158842. That probation will have him ending probation on 12/21/2035.
Okay.
Okay. Because right now on that case 15 SC 135785, if you leave it the way it is, he will not get out probation on that case until June 14th of 2062.
I don't know if I'm gonna still be working in 2062. I'd hope I'd save up enough money to maybe retire, go check on my husband down in South America every now.
Right. I mean, and if it's, you know, if the court would like to, you know, have this matter, or have Madam Defense Counsel to file whatever motions or whatever, we're willing to work toward a resolution on that. But I do feel that it's that these sentences, though, you know, the intentions were good, I think that you're sort of setting a person up for failure if you have them on one of their cases to be on probation till October 24th of 2070. One of the cases has his probation ending on that day.
Okay, so I think what we'll do today is do the recommendations on the two. And then perhaps you and Ms. Rockwell, Ms. Clark can get together on some sort of consent or an idea. I'm willing to schedule whatever we need to do to go over all these cases and get that in place properly.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Did he get
so,
reporting instructions?
well, and just to be clear, so there were two cases. I forgot about the other one. 17 SC 153254, 19 SC 167253, both to revoke 4 months, reduce the time served, and reinstate. And can you, Ms. Cullors is going to want to give reporting instructions.
All right, Mr. Dorico, could you tell me, are you still at the address that begins with 2798? Is that where you reside?
That's my mother's address, but I have a house I just got with my fiance at 3009 Delta Way. I don't know the zip code. I need to check Ms. Rockwell on the zip code to get from my fiance.
And that is in what city, sir?
That's Fulton County.
Okay. And could you give me, do you have a contact number, or can I get that from Ms. Rockwell?
I have several contact numbers. I can give you my direct number, my fiance number.
Okay, go ahead.
My fiance number is 44
Yes.
821
Yes.
9864.
Okay. And what's her name, Miss what?
Shelly Lay, Laye.
Okay. All right. Mr. Dorico, I need for you to report, and it is important that you report for me, okay?
Yes,
I need
ma'am.
you to report to the office at 276 Memorial Drive. Are you familiar with where that is?
Yes, ma'am.
I need for you to report there 48 hours after you're released.
No problem.
From 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. I need for you to report. It is very important that you report to probation. Okay?
I will be there.
Okay.
Judge, can I just put one thing on the record
Sure.
for my clients or anybody that's listening? It's so important to report. Sometimes people don't report, then they get scared, and then they don't want to report. It takes months sometimes for a warrant to issue, and I know Officer Cullors and Madam Prosecutor will agree with this. Report, report, report. Mr. Dorico, you are on probation till 2070. You're on probation 47 more years. You have to report, okay?
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
get scared to report, call me. I'll report with you.
I have no problem reporting. I have
You
no
have to
problem.
report. You got a job, you got kids, you have to report. That's all I gotta say. Please report. Judge,
Thank
that's
you.
all. All right.
Okay. Good advice.
May I
Um,
be excused?
You're excused, Ms. Rockwell.
All right. I'm gonna still be listening in case y'all need me for anything else. Thank you so much, Miss Robinson.
All right.
Judge, you know
Okay.
you got the best staff in the courthouse, right?
That's what you say to everybody.
But I mean this. She makes things happen. Thank you so
Well,
much. Y'all have a
all
good
right.
weekend. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, can we go ahead and do Mr. Position 7, Mr. Cheney, since he's
Sure.
outsourced at a different area? And I know last time we tried to get him, they were having some technical difficulties. So can we go ahead and do him just in case something
Sure.
happens? Okay, so Mr. Cheney, okay, he's off of mute. So go ahead, Judge.
Can you hear me, Mr. Cheney?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I know Ms. Jones is representing you. So this is 13 SC 118801. Richard Cheney, who's represented by his attorney, Ms. Jones, and Ms. Clark. I assume you have this one?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so everybody's appearing by Zoom. Mr. Cheney, do you have any questions, concerns, thoughts? Let me know. And you've already done it once. We'll arrange for another breakout room with your attorney so you can speak with her privately, okay?
Yes, sir. Can I speak with you right now, right quick, sir? Is that what you're saying?
If you want to speak with Ms. Jones privately, you can. I mean, we'd have to break you back out. You've got another question for her.
Yes, I do. I'll be real quick. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, Kathy, if you could arrange for that.
And Your Honor, just so you're clear, Mr. Clark had a conflict, so I'm handling all of his revos today.
Okay.
So.
Kathy, did you tell Cobb County that
They're gone, Judge.
yeah, but I see Mr. Dorico still there.
I can leave.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Dorico can leave.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. You're excused. Boy. Okay. You unmute Mr. Cheney? All right, Mr. Cheney, can you hear me?
Sir.
All right. Well, if you need to speak with her again, you know what to do. Let me know, all right?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, Ms. Jones, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. As indicated before you is Mr. Cheney. The probation petition indicates that he pled guilty to possession of some drugs, Your Honor, in Cobb County. He's already been sentenced on that, and as well as leaving an inpatient program last February without updating his address. We will stipulate to those violations, Your Honor. Probation has recommended well, they were wondering if he could get back into We Are Living Proof or some other drug program, and to revoke 1 year upon entry if he in fact was able to get back into We Are Living Proof, or conversely, Metro Atlanta day reporting. I've spoken to my client, Your Honor. He indicates he could potentially get back into We Are Living Proof. However, there is a $250 fee that they do not waive. And my client, because he has been incarcerated now for 116 days, does not have the ability to come up with that right away. So he would have to, work and get some money before he could do that. So, in speaking with him, and it sounds like he actually lives in Oconee County, that they do also have a type of Metro Atlanta day reporting program up there. So he would rather do the day reporting to address his drug addiction issues, because obviously he does have them. So that is what we are requesting. He's going to be living in Bogart, Georgia, which I guess is in Oconee County. So we will go along with that revoke the 1 year and then commute upon entry into the Athens Metro or Atlanta day reporting or the equivalent. And I'm sure Ms. Cullors can speak to more of that.
All right, Ms. Cullors.
I was scrolling right then to see the reporting the day reporting center for that area is, but I have no objections to him reporting to the day reporting center there. However, I would need Mr. Cheney's address.
Yes, ma'am. It is 1030 Pleasant Hill Road, Bogart, Bogart, Georgia, zip code 30622, ma'am.
And can you provide a phone number?
Yes, ma'am. I have two phone numbers. This is my father's, 404-593-8576. His name is Ricky Cheney. And my mother's number is 678-851-7580. And her name is Ernestine Bryant, Bryant.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to tell you where you need to report. And I would assume that the reporting center is in the same place like ours is. So give me 1 second.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, well, while Miss Color's looking that up, Miss Clark, do you have anything you want to add?
Your Honor, the state has no opposition to the recommendation by Madam Probation. And also, P.D. Jones raised the point about the $250 fee. The state has no opposition to that if the court is so inclined to have that fee waived.
Well, I think that issue's with the private center,
Okay.
right? Yeah, correct, Ms. Jones? Yeah.
It is, it's a private center. I'm not as familiar with that program, Your Honor, but it is a private center.
So the recommendation is revoke for 1 year and then commute to time served upon attendance of the daily reporting program.
Yes.
Which have you found that one, Ms. Colors?
I'm going to have to call the office, but that's something that I'll do once we're done. But he definitely needs to report to the office there in Athens at 171 Old Epps Bridge Road in Athens, Georgia, 30606. Are you familiar with that address, sir?
Mr. Cheney's on mute.
Yes, ma'am. My sergeant right now, he's already informed me and gave me he has the address right now, and he's has it on sticky note. He's giving it to me right now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is where I will need for you to report 48 hours after you are released. I will put in the revocation order that you have been ordered to do the day reporting center there.
Yes, ma'am.
So as soon as we see that you have entered it, then that 1 year, of course, will be commuted or reduced.
What it means? So, am I being reinstated?
Yes, you will be reinstated on probation, but you will be attending the day reporting center.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to report every day. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
So in other words, what
Collins.
she's saying is if you do not complete or enter the Metro Atlanta day reporting, then you're facing an additional, I guess, 10 months, whatever 189 from 12 months is. So you would have to serve a year if you do not complete the Metro Atlanta day reporting.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm going to do the right thing, ma'am. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you. God bless.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cheney. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Kathy, who do you want to do next?
Okay, why don't we just start from the beginning? Position 1, Mr. Wallace. He is in 2 North, booth 1.
You may recall, Your Honor, this is a conflict attorney.
Say that again?
Conflict, oh, yeah.
Oh, man,
So is the conflict attorney on?
no. I don't know if we have anybody. Let me see if I can get Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, we reset this before because he didn't have a conflict.
Okay, all right. Then let's move on to Mr. Norman Harris. He's in 2 North, booth 2.
All right, Mr. Harris, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is 16 SC 144-767 Norman Harris, who's represented by his attorney, Ms. Jones. Ms. Iqbal, is this your case?
Yes, Judge, it is. Good morning.
Okay, well, Mr. Harris, good morning. Everybody's on Zoom, so if you have any questions, concerns, or thoughts that you'd like to discuss privately with your attorney, let me know, and we'll arrange for a breakout room with you and Ms. Jones, okay?
Okay.
Do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you. And Mr. Harris, I'm covering for Mr. Clark today. I know that he spoke to you, and so I'm going to provide that information to the court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there was, I could sense a little confusion. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Ms. Jones and Mr. Clark are both the public defenders in my courtroom, okay?
All right. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your Honor, probation is alleging that he picked up new misdemeanor DV charges in Virginia and that he left the state without permission, as well as failed to complete the batterer's intervention classes. Your Honor, we will stipulate to those charges. My understanding is the DV charge may have been dismissed. Mr. Clark could not confirm that. However, he does concede that he left the state without updating his address. Probation's recommendation is that he be revoked 3 months, reduced to time served, and be reinstated. He is eligible for unsupervised probation. However, probation is recommending he be supervised for the next 3 years, which we will agree to, Your Honor. Also, he must report within 48 hours of his release. And Your Honor, we would just, I'm guessing the state's going to chime in and basically indicate that he needs to start those batterer intervention classes within 30 days of release. Probation should have that information of the classes he can take at the probation office. His address is going to be 3401 Hickman Drive. And I don't see if it says it. Is that Atlanta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you know the zip?
I believe it's 30318.
And can you provide probation with a phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
678-886-2848.
And that's all we have, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Iqbal.
Miss, I just want to confirm, Ms. Colors, he hasn't even started the batter's course. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can we do something where, like, similar to the previous individual where it was like
I'm sorry, can you
suspended
restate,
upon him?
Ms.
entering?
Iqbal, can you restate what you said? You guys were both talking at the same time and I didn't catch your beginning.
I'm sorry. I'll start again. Can we do what we did with the previous individual where it was like suspended upon him entering? That way we can make sure he does enter into the batter's program, if that's okay, if Ms. Jones agrees.
I wasn't listening. I think I was in a breakout with the other case, so I'm not
I
sure
was
what the previous agreement was with the other case. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I was just saying, can we do something where it's like some kind of time, but suspended upon him entering the batter program?
Just like we did for your previous client in Oconee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well, how much time were you?
I think that we could just do the 3 months instead of it being like, give him credit for the time that he served and whatever's left over.
Okay.
That's what we would suspend.
Okay,
Once
I
he gives
gotcha.
us, okay, good proof.
Okay, yeah, Your Honor, we wouldn't have an objection to revoking 3 months that be commuted to time served upon entry into the family violence intervention class. We're good with that.
Okay. When is it, I mean, is there, I hadn't heard of the battery class yet. Is that a distinction from the family violence intervention or?
No, Judge, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's just
Okay,
different
okay.
terms there.
I've just practiced other places and everybody calls it something different, but it's.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, I made a
No
mistake.
problem, no problem. Okay, well, then I will agree to revoke for 3 months, reduce to time served upon entry into the Family Violence Intervention Program. He'll be supervised for the next 3 years. And he needs to start the Family Violence Intervention Program within the next 30 days and report within 48 hours. Anything else?
And of course, cannot leave the state without permission, Your Honor. That needs to be clear.
Yes, I mean, that's just, that's a standard condition, but we will reiterate it to you that you can't leave the state without permission.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Colors, you have to report within 48 hours. Do you know where that is?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will need to report to the office at 276 Memorial Drive.
Memorial Drive?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, you're excused, Mr. Harris.
Your Honor.
Which one you want to do next, Kathy? Just go to Mahone, number 3?
Position 3, he was, apparently he had a probation hearing on July the 27th with Judge Whitaker. So he was released on July the 28th. So we can cross him off.
Okay. All right, what
And
about
we can
position
go,
5 then, Johnson?
yes, Mr. Johnson, he is in 3 South Booth 1. So let me get him. 3 South Booth 1. Okay, he is.
All right, can you hear me, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay, this is position 19 SC 170-918, Vern Johnson, who is represented by Ms. Jones and Ms. Clark. You have this one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're all appearing by Zoom, Mr. Johnson. If you need to, if you have a question or concern or thought that you need to speak to privately with your attorney, we can arrange for a breakout room where you can speak with her privately, okay? You just ask for it.
Okay.
All right, do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. As indicated, this is Mr. Johnson. Probation petition is alleging that there is a failure to register by not updating his room number in Gwinnett. Apparently, he was staying at a hotel, Your Honor. He is currently going back and forth from Fulton to Gwinnett County to address that charge as he's picked up the failure to register in Gwinnett, Your Honor. We will stipulate to that by preponderance, not proof beyond reasonable doubt. Probation's recommendation is to revoke 3 months credit for time served and be reinstated. He is eligible for unsupervised probation. However, probation is recommending that he remain on supervised probation for 3 years, and he must provide an updated address and report within 48 hours of release, Your Honor. And I do not have a new address for him, but I think he stays at a hotel. And generally speaking, just for Mr. Johnson's edification, when you stay at a hotel, you usually have to update your address or check in with the sheriff's office much more frequently. I think it's 96 hours. Or every 96 hours.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, do you want to give Ms. Colors your address?
I would have to wait until I had a court date Zoom down here for Gwinnett 2 days ago, but nobody down here in Fulton County did the Zoom. So now my court date is going to be set off. They're going to come and pick me up, I guess, Monday and take me back to Gwinnett. Now,
are you going to live in Gwinnett or Fulton?
I'll be back in Gwinnett. That's where I've been living basically all my life. I've never lived in Fulton, ever. I don't even have a Fulton County address.
You know where to report in Fulton?
Yes, I do have.
In Gwinnett, you know, you're going to, wait a minute, Ms. Colors, he's going to be reporting in Gwinnett, right?
Yes.
No, because of the nature of his charges, well, the type of probation that he is on, before he goes to Gwinnett, he's going to have to report to the Atlanta office. He's going to have to provide them with with an address once he reports, and then they'll transfer his case back to Gwinnett. Okay. So he'll have to report to the Atlanta office on the first Wednesday after he's released.
Okay.
You hear that, Mr.
Yes.
Johnson?
Okay, I'll be released from, don't give an address. I'll be in jail, right? Okay. So don't give the sheriff department an address until I come to Fulton County and give you an address, then go back and, that's what you're saying for me to do?
Yes. So if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is that you're going to be transported from Fulton County to Gwinnett County Jail. Am I correct? Once you are released from Gwinnett County, you will need to come back to the Fulton County office here in Atlanta the first Wednesday after you're released. Once you speak to the officer there and you give them the address that you will be living at in Gwinnett County and make sure that it is an accurate address, you can feel free to go back to Gwinnett County, but they're going to give you reporting instructions to the Gwinnett County office.
Gotcha. Understood. I got one big question, just one big question, and we can let it go. Can I ask a question?
Well, I mean, if it's a procedural question about this kind of stuff, sure, but if it has something to do with your case, then that's not a good idea. But why don't you ask, and I may cut you off, but go ahead.
Okay, I've been off, I finished my sentence in 2005. I've been off I should have been off the registration for 18 years. I placed a petition in the courts. Nobody has answered me on my petition.
Well, Mr. Johnson, I mean, I really feel like it's just a conversation you should have with Ms. Jones.
Okay.
You agree with that, Ms. Jones?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we generally don't handle trying to get folks off of sex offender probation, but I do know that there are criminal defense attorneys who specialize in that, and I would encourage Mr. Johnson to reach out to one of those attorneys.
Okay.
Okay.
We can't address that today.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to address that today.
All right.
Anything else? Ms. Clark, are you good with all this?
Yes, Your Honor. The state has no opposition.
Okay, so I'll agree to revoke for 3 months, commute to time served, reinstate and remain on supervised probation for 3 years. All right, Mr. Johnson, you're excused.
All right, thank you.
All right, you want to go to position
Judge,
6 now?
Position 6, we're gonna need to reset that. Apparently he's at the South Annex and they are having some technical issues. They've not been able to sign on.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
reset it.
All right, and we did position 7. Position
Yeah.
8, Miss Cooper, we need to reset her because she is still in medical. She was in medical the last time she was on the calendar, and she is still in medical.
Okay, we'll reset 8.
Okay, so we will go to position 9, Mr. George Johns. He is 5 North Booth 1.
Hey,
He's
Mr.
ready,
Johns, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is 18 SC 157-821, George Johns, who is present with his attorney, Ms. Jones, and we have Ms. Clark with the district attorney's office. Mr. Johns, everybody is appearing by Zoom. So if you have a question, a concern, or thought about what's going on, you let me know and I will arrange for you to speak privately with your attorney, Ms. Jones, okay?
Okay, but if I have a question to ask of you, is that okay?
It depends, you know, I'm only looking out for your interest. I don't want you to say something that could incriminate.
Right.
What sort of question is it?
Right. With regards to the case, I was wondering on the.
I'm gonna stop you, Mr.
The minute you
Johns.
say with
Mr.
regards
Johns.
to the case, that gets me concerned.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Go ahead, Ms. Jones. The minute I hear with regards to the case, I get concerned. And it's really just looking out for your benefit. I mean, for your interest, that's all.
Okay.
If you've got questions about your case, those are questions for Ms. Jones. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to speak with her privately about, or do you want to go forward with this part?
Yes, and appropriate persona sui juris. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, can we just make an announcement on this particular case?
Sure.
And I know Mr. Johns gets kind of confused because I represented him on his underlying case for the aggravated assault and possession of a firearm. He has a, probation is alleging that he violated his probation. He's got a pending murder case right now in front of Judge Whitaker, which is currently scheduled for trial in October. So as we did last week, I would like to just transfer the probation matter to that particular judge, so that they can handle everything all at once rather than have a full-blown hearing. I'm sure the state doesn't want to have a full-blown hearing and then do a trial on that. And Mr. Johns, I know you get very confused. This is just the probation violation that we talked about yesterday.
Right.
We're gonna just have this be all handled by one judge and your underlying attorney, Ms. Salisbury, okay?
No. I wasn't confused. It was just a question I wanted to ask. And like I said, so I'm moving forward in appropriate terms to jury. So like I said.
Oh, I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're gonna say. I need you to stop talking. I need you to stop talking.
Yeah. Ms. Clark, do you have any objection to me transferring this to Judge Whitaker?
No, Your Honor, the state does not object.
Okay, so it makes the most sense since you've got a pending murder case to just transfer this and let this ride along with it, okay? So that's what we'll do.
I want to dismiss it.
Oh, can we mute him, please?
Yeah, all right. So Mr. Johns, you are excused. All right, let's go to position 10.
That is Mr. Kuykendall, 3 South Booth 2. Let's see, 3 South Booth 2. Okay, he's ready.
All right, Mr. Kuykendall, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is 17 SC 151471, Marquavius Kuykendall. He's present with his attorney, Ms. Jones. And it looks like we have Ms. Iqbal with the district attorney's office, correct?
Yes, Judge, that is correct.
Okay, Mr. Kuykendall, everybody is appearing by Zoom. And so you have any questions, concerns, thoughts that you would like to speak with your attorney about, you let me know and we'll arrange for you to speak with her privately, okay?
Sir.
All right, do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom?
Sir.
Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before you is Mr. Kuykendall. It is alleged that he committed a new misdemeanor in Fulton County terroristic threats. My understanding is that might have been upgraded to a felony, Your Honor, and that he failed to report on and refused to give his address to for field contact, Your Honor. We will stipulate by a preponderance of the evidence, not proof beyond reasonable doubt, as to the allegations, Your Honor. Probation's recommendation at this point is to be revoked 3 months credit for time served, and he has to enroll in anger management within 30 days of his release. And they would like him to remain on active supervision for 1.5 years, Your Honor, and update his address as well as report within 48 hours. We would agree with that recommendation. I have been speaking with Ms. Iqbal. She was concerned that maybe he has a substance abuse issue. His issue is mental health. You may recall this plea that we took on this case maybe a couple years ago now. I'm not really sure. And he does indicate to me that he does get his mental health treatment through Mercy Care. I want to say it was in the original disposition that he had to continue with mental health. We're not opposed to if the state is, if that is their concern about mental health, that we make it a condition that he continue his care with Mercy Care and remain medically compliant. I have spoken with my client in regards to mental health and that he needs to stay on his medications. He agrees with me, and he also agrees that an anger management class would be appropriate and helpful for him. He indicates his address is going to be 445 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. He didn't know the zip, and I'm having a hard time reading. What is the apartment number, Mr. Kuykendall?
G88.
D?
G, as in girl, 88.
Oh, G, girl, I gotcha. Yeah, G 88. And Mr. Kuykendall, do you have a good valid phone number you can provide probation?
702-718-8342.
Okay.
And I think the zip code is 30354.
30354.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Mr. Kuykendall, I'm going to stress to you, you've got to report, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have any issues, you know you can call me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's all we have, Your Honor.
Ms. Iqbal?
Judge, I agree with all that. The only other thing I ask is for a mental health probation officer because the underlying felony is that he terroristically threatened to kill the probation officer. So, I mean, it's clear that a mental health probation officer may help the situation and maybe could have prevented even that charge.
We have no objection to that. And he may have been assigned one. I just don't remember anymore. And I didn't pull up the original disposition, but that would be very good for him to have a mental health probation officer.
Okay, it sounds like the underlying issue is that he needs to remain medically compliant because refusing to give your address is different than forgetting to give your address. So you have to remain, Mr. Kuykendall, you're going to have to continue to report and provide your current address, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I will agree to revoke the 3 months credit for time served. He is to enroll in an anger management course within 30 days. You just provided an updated address, but if that address changed, you have to provide them with a new address. You need to continue with your mental health at Mercy Care and remain medically compliant. You are to have supervised probation for 1.5 years. And if he already doesn't have one, then he shall have I'll order a mental health probation officer. Is there anything else, Ms. Cullors?
No, sir. You said it all.
Okay. You're excused, Mr. Kuykendall.
Thank you.
And Judge, I believe that's the only other matter I have. I can jump back on if need be, but may I be excused?
You're excused.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you, Ms. Cullors. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ms. Kathy. Thank you.
You too. All right. What about position
Okay,
11?
Judge, we're gonna do position 11, Mr. Nicholas Cummings. He's in 5, so he's actually ready. His booth is on.
Okay, yeah, I see. Can you hear me, Mr. Cummings?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is 22 SC 181074, Nicholas Cummings, who's joined by his attorney, Ms. Jones, and we have ADA Clark representing the state of Mr. Cummings. Everybody's on Zoom for this hearing. So if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, anything about this matter, let me know. We'll arrange for you to speak with your attorney privately, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have your permission to go forward by Zoom.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. As indicated, this is Mr. Cummings. Probation is alleging that he failed to report to probation as instructed, as well as verbally refused to complete mental health and substance abuse assessment, Your Honor. Probation's recommendation is to revoke 6 months. I was speaking with Ms. Cullors in regard to this case, and she indicated she would agree to having that commuted to time served so long as he submits to the mental health and substance abuse assessment. So we could probably frame that as it would be commuted to time served upon taking that mental health and substance abuse assessment with probation within 30 days, or even maybe 2 weeks of release. I can leave that to Ms. Cullors so that actually happens. I concur in speaking with Mr. Cummings that a mental health evaluation is a good idea for him. I'm not sure he has substance abuse, but he can certainly submit to that, Your Honor. And he will live with his mother in Cobb County. He did not necessarily have that address when I spoke to him, but he understands he has to provide that to probation, Your Honor. And that's all we have.
Ms. Clark?
Your Honor, the state has no opposition to to the recommendation by Madam Probation. I just wanted to add that this case is actually ADA K. Charles's case, and I've conferred with her regarding Madam Probation's recommendation, and she indicated that she did not have a problem with the recommendation as set forth.
Ms. Colors, does he have a mental health probation officer?
I am checking that right now. I do believe that he does. I think he is specialized, but let me check.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cummings.
Yes, he does.
We'll revoke 6 months. We will commute the time served. Well, wait a minute. Question for you, Ms. Colors. Do you want him to get a mental health and substance abuse evaluation? How long do you want to give that?
I would like for him to do that once he reports, because I'm going to need for him to report the first Wednesday after he is released to the probation office at 276 Memorial Drive. Do you know where that is, Mr. Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like for him to submit himself to that evaluation that day at the office.
Okay. Okay, so we'll revoke for 6 months and we'll commute that to time served on getting a mental health and substance abuse evaluation, which will be the first time he reports. Mr. Cummings, you understand that you're going to need to get those evaluations when you report?
I had already taken them and reported it to the probation officer I had.
Well, you know, you're going to have your probation officer, and the bottom line is you're going to need to do what that probation officer tells you to do when you report. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And whether you've done one before or you haven't done one, you're going to need to do it when you report, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so there doesn't need to be any debate over whether you've had it or not. It's just if you arrive and that probation officer determines that you need those, you're going to take them, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's the 60-day for time served, revocation, for the probation reinstatement, not what is it? Ongoing.
We're going to revoke 6 months, but we will commute that to your time served, assuming that you report to probation. What is it, the first Wednesday upon release, Ms. Colors?
Yes, sir.
First Wednesday upon release, and you comply with what that mental health probation officer tells you to do, which 2 of those things are supposed to be to get a mental health and substance abuse evaluation, okay?
Yes, sir. I got.
No, Ms. Jones, did you want to add anything to that?
Mr. Cummings, so do you understand what the judge is saying to you?
For the most part, it's just.
Okay, let me explain. So you're going to get released. You're going to report on Wednesday. If you do not, another probation warrant will go out for your arrest and you'll end up back in jail. If you do not do your mental health evaluation as probation directs, you will end up back in jail. So do what they say, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good advice there. I agree with that completely. Okay, Mr. Cummings?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're excused. All right, who do you want to do next, Kathy? I know we have an add-on, Jalen Miller, and then some things we have to circle back.
Yes, we can do Mr. Jalen Miller. He is in 4 South. All right, let me do that. And then after we do that, then we can talk about position 1, Mr. Wallace, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, Judge, he's ready.
Okay, can you hear me, Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Okay, this is 16 SC 148178, Jalen Miller. And he is joined by his attorney, Ms. Jones. We have Ms. Clark with the district attorney's office. Mr. Miller, everybody here is appearing by Zoom. So if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything you want to discuss with your attorney, we can arrange for you to speak with her privately, okay?
Yes.
All you have to do is ask me. Mr. Miller, do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. As indicated, this is Mr. Miller. The state is alleging in their petition that he committed the new offense of criminal damage as well as criminal trespass. In looking at those cases on Odyssey, it appears that he has handled those matters, Your Honor. So this is the only thing that's holding him in jail. So we will stipulate to that. He's currently done 189 days, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is to revoke 9 months, commute that time to time served, close this case out. He will then, he has another consecutive case on 17 SC 153553. And I was going to defer to Ms. Collars in terms of if he's going to have to report on that case or not, but we would go ahead and agree with the revoke 9 months, commute to time served, and close the case out. He's pretty close to that number.
All right, Ms. Collars, what about the 17 SC case?
Well, once this order is done and signed by you, Judge, once this case is the one that's calendar is over, that 17 SC case will automatically engage. So he will need to report within 48 hours to the Atlanta DCS office. And I just need to know what Mr. Miller's present address is.
Address is 1751 I think it's 1751 Lakewood Drive.
Okay, Mr. Miller, you would definitely have to be sure of your address. So once you're released and you report to the office within 48 hours, you need to, I'm going to put this 1751 Lakewood Drive, but if that is not your address, it's not an issue. When you get to the office, you need to make sure that you give them the current address and the current contact number for you, okay? You must report to the office within 48 hours, okay?
You know where that office is?
No.
The office is at 276 Memorial Drive.
All right.
And that is across from the Atlanta City Detention Center.
All right.
Ms. Collars, do you have anything? I mean, Ms. Clark. Ms. Clark.
No, Your Honor, the state finds that the Madam Probation's recommendation is appropriate.
Judge, I'm
All
sorry,
right.
I have a question. The 17 SC case, are we doing the revocation under both of those cases?
No, ma'am. That was just informational so that everyone would know that he wouldn't be off probation, that just the case that is on the calendar has ended and that one would engage after this closes. That's all.
Okay. So regarding the 16 SC 148178 case, we'll revoke for 9 months commute time served. This case will be closed out. 17 SC has been discussed. That will remain in effect. And Mr. Miller, one more reminder. So you have to report to probation within 48 hours of your release. Okay?
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yeah.
And you need to you need to know what your address is and make sure they have an updated address.
All right.
Okay, you're excused, Mr. Miller.
So I'm getting out.
All right, let's go back to the.
We can go to position 1, but I do believe Kendarius Joyner is on. Is that Kendarius Joyner right here? Okay, so just give us a moment and we're gonna get to you, okay? All right. So position 1, Judge, I called Mr. Wilson, and he says he doesn't usually take probation revocation cases. So he's like, he's not sure who would have to handle Mr. Wallace's case if it's a conflict. He's and I don't know either.
What does that mean? We're gonna have to reset Mr. Wallace another time until we figure out who his attorney is?
Yes, so I don't know how that works as far as a conflict for a probation revocation.
Okay, well, let's reset him for the next available probation revocation count. I see you raising your hand.
Hold on just a sec. Let me
Go
turn
ahead
him
and
on.
unmute him.
Hold on.
And
Okay.
Mr. Wallace, before you begin speaking,
No.
and I know you're frustrated. You're sitting in jail. We keep resetting it because we don't know who your attorney is. I'm sure there's some frustration there. What I don't want you to do is to discuss your case.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome to ask me about your attorney situation and what's going on there. I just don't want you discussing your case and you talking about something that could eventually
Harm myself.
incriminate you. So go ahead, Mr. Wallace.
I was just asking, I was finna ask, can Miss Tiana Jones appoint me?
No, because it's a conflict, unfortunately. Their office is conflicted out. So that's why we're having trouble because of your case. That's why we're having trouble. We're looking for a conflict defender for you.
Yes.
We're going to get you back on the next probation revocation calendar and hopefully figured out who your attorney is. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Ms. Jones?
I would. I just looked up and it looks like he's got new underlying felonies and he's obviously co-defendant with one of ours. I would suggest reaching out to the attorney who is assigned to the underlying felony and see if they couldn't handle this probation revocation.
Do you know what that case number is, Ms. Jones?
I don't, but I can look it up and provide it. I just looked up his jailing information. Well, let me see if I can real quick.
I mean, it should be an odyssey.
Yeah, I was just in the jail section though. Looks like he's got 2. And it's still in the CP level. And it looks like it's a Brian Oliff, Olliff. I'm familiar with that name. And I bet Mr. Wilson might have that contact information since they're in the same office.
Well, it looks like you've got some underlying felonies anyway, Mr. Wallace. And so we're going to reach out to your attorney on those and see if that attorney can handle this probation revocation for you. Okay.
Yes, sir. You know how long it's gonna be to the next calendar?
Ms. Robinson, do you know when the next probation revocation calendar will be?
It's going to be in September, but what I will try to do is get you in as soon as possible. And if we need to, I'll see if we can, bring you to the courthouse so that you don't have to wait too long. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
have a blessed day.
All right. You're excused.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we
Okay,
have.
Judge, so let's go back to position 6. And this is Kendarius Joyner. It looks like he's on county phone at the South Annex.
Okay,
Okay,
Ms.
there he
Joyner,
is.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is 21 SC 180111, Kendarius Joyner. He is joined by his attorney, Ms. Jones. And Ms. Clark, you have this with the district attorney's office?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Joyner, we're all obviously appearing by Zoom. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns that you want to discuss with your attorney, Ms. Jones, privately, let me know and we will arrange for that to happen, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Jones?
Thank you, Your Honor. You may recall that we had reset this from July 21st for us to look at a program for him. I'm concerned in regard to some of the structure given his young age and the nature of these charges, as well as picking up new charges in a different county, Your Honor. I spoke with our social worker. He was supposed to be interviewed yesterday, but he wasn't because my client was moved from Fulton County Jail to the South Annex in Union City. So there was some confusion as to where he was. So I'm going to request to move this to the September docket to see if we can't get him into a program that provides structure. And Mr. Joyner, I see you raising your hand.
And
Can I say
You
something?
want a breakout room?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I wasn't able to speak with him because.
all right, let's do a breakout room. Kathy.
Okay, will do. And I see Miss Deborah Singleton is here. Do you want to have her in the breakout room with you, Miss Jones?
I was only here, good morning, well, good afternoon. I was only here because the calendar had reflected status of Next Level Boys Academy. And he had previously been in that program. I wasn't sure if the court was trying to find out about his previous involvement or if they were trying to have him re-enrolled. So I was just here in case there were any questions concerning that. As the court may recall, he was an SB 440 and was under my supervision for a period of time. But that was the only reason. It appears that it's more of a status of trying to get him into a current program. So I wouldn't have any information or anything concerning.
Okay.
Okay, just checking.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Hey, Kathy? Kath?
Yes.
Oh, Judge, I'm just gonna run to the restroom real quick. I didn't want you to start back up without me. It'll only be a minute, but I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Meyer, are you back?
I'm here, Judge. Thank you.
I'm back also, Judge.
All we need is Ms. Jones' client.
Yep.
I'm gonna send out the message that we're closing the room, so hopefully they'll see that and. Okay, there he is.
Okay. Mr. Joyner, can you hear me again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll go forward again. If you need to speak with Ms. Jones, do what you did before and let me know that you need to speak with her privately, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, do I have your permission to go forward by Zoom?
Sir.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Joyner indicated to me that he did actually get to speak with them yesterday afternoon. It's Metro Community Ministries. The last update I had was yesterday morning from a social worker that they were trying to interview him. He indicates to me that they did accept him after his interview. So we do have a program in place so we can go forward, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, Your Honor, in this particular petition, the state is alleging that on or about March 5th, 2023, that the defendant, Mr. Joyner, received new felony charges of receiving stolen property in fleeing or attempting to loot in Fayette County. My understanding is, in speaking with him, that he might have been just a passenger in that car. However, we will stipulate so he can handle this today by preponderance, not proof beyond a reasonable doubt in regard to that case, Your Honor. My client is on first offender, Your Honor, on a robbery. And I did not take a look at what that sentence was, Your Honor. Probation's recommendation is to revoke the first offender and attend the Next Level Boys Academy. They did not accept him, which is why we reached out to an alternative program, because I do believe that Mr. Joyner, in speaking with him, needs some structure in his life and some guidance into how to make better decisions and things of those natures, Your Honor. We would respectfully request that his first offender not be revoked, given his youth and his young age, and saddling with him a felony is a pretty steep price at this point. He is 18 years old, Your Honor, and he is going to be a senior this year. He reminded me of that, and I forgot that he has not quite finished school yet. If released, Your Honor, he is going to go back to school, which he needs to do because he needs his high school diploma, as well as we would agree that he needs to enter in and complete this program, the Metro Community Ministries, which helps with employment, leadership decisions, and just better guidance in terms of making better choices, Your Honor. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Colors?
Your Honor, I'm not opposed to not revoking his first offender. I'm not opposed to that. But I do want Mr. Joyner to understand that the people that you are around matter, especially since you are on first offender probation. I want him to understand that he needs to remain he just needs to keep himself in a position where he does not have any kind of infractions with the law or anything like that. Graduate from high school so he can get all of this behind him, because he is young, and probation doesn't necessarily want to revoke his first offender. It's just that he hasn't even been on probation a year, and then this comes up. So that is why initially when he was first on the calendar, I said revoke his first offender. But understanding that he is young, he's trying to get to school, he could possibly go to college. You will cut yourself short of doing anything or attaining any dreams that you want to attain if you have this felony. So please, 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 by all means, watch your company, watch who you're around, report to probation as directed, and just do the right thing until you are done with probation. And if you continue to do the right thing, even though you have 8 years remaining on probation, you could come up for unsupervised in a couple of years. And then if you're continuously doing what you're supposed to do, Ms. Jones could petition the courts to early terminate your probation. So just do the right thing, and then you won't have a felony on your record.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Clark, what are your?
Your Honor, the state just echoes what Madam Probation has indicated. Also, we would like to ask that since his associations with people who have been a problem, that there be some type of provision that says that he is not to hang with any known gang members, as well as any known individuals that have felony convictions.
We would go along with that, Your Honor.
And so the reason we're having this revocation is that he's gotten charged with receiving stolen property felony.
That is my understanding, Your Honor, and I only have what I know from my client, but it sounds like, and these are just allegations again, Your Honor.
I get that. I get that. No, I get it. I get that his position is wrong place, wrong time, I guess.
Yes, one of his associates had a stolen car and fled when officers got behind it when they realized it was a stolen car. With one of those I'm guessing a license plate reader.
What's the name of the organization he's been accepted into?
It's called MCM. It's Metro Community Ministries. And I would like to give him a little bit of incentive that he needs to, once he is released, he needs to report to that program within 7 days. And even if he can't start it, just bring proof to probation that he's going to be enrolling and taking that, so that probation can follow all of his progress.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, Mr. Joyner, we give all these speeches on first offender out. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you got to you've got to stay out of trouble. Now I realize you have a different position on this underlying case, and it's just simply a charge. I'll agree with this, but I'm going to echo what everybody else has said. I mean, you're a young man, and we don't want to. I don't want you saddled with this felony. But I also know Next Level Boys Academy, they refused you. I know they have very high standards to get in, and so it's concerning. Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Your Honor. I think that had to do more with the SB 440. I think that they were trying to get services while he was on probation, and for whatever reason, it didn't work. And since they had already considered that application, they just weren't willing to reconsider him. So that was more in the past.
Okay, all right. All right, I'll agree to not revoking the first offender. You are to report to this MCM, Metro Community Ministries, within 7 days. You haven't been on probation for a year, as Ms. Culler said, so that's concerning. So I'm definitely going to agree to no contact with gang members, no contact with anyone that has had felony convictions. You're gonna have to pick the people you associate with in a better manner, okay, Mr. Joyner?
Yes, sir.
I mean, because I'll try to speak positively here. I hate to be so negative every time, but I try my best to make sure everyone understands the gravity of the situation they're in. But, as Ms. Jones said, I mean, you're 18 years old. I mean, let's try to think on the positive. Let's try to associate with, or let's associate, not try, let's associate with people that will bring you up and will have a positive impact on your life. And perhaps you can go to college or a trade school or something that will be more productive. Okay, Mr. Joyner?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is it. This is the last chance. Again, no contact with any gang members or anyone with any known felonies. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're excused.
Mr. Joyner, where will you be living? Will it be the same address that that we have for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just make sure. Magna Carta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I need for you to report to the office at 276 Memorial Drive within 48 hours after your release, okay? And just like Ms. Jones said, report to this Metro Community Ministries within 7 days. And then even if you can't start right then, at least show some type proof to probation that you have at least started it, because that is going to be a part of your sentence now, since it will be on this revocation order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
On the Memorial Drive, like Tuesday.
If 48 hours after your release, if Tuesday is the 48 hour, definitely. Whenever that 48 hour, within that period of time, please report. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're adjourned. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend, everybody.